Then Dardoch takes it, finishes the kill, and that's why he was the kill leader for junglers for the entire split last split.
Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some type of Bard Rek'Sai game here from Liquid to set up and lock some people down for some long-range fights. Liquid has always been a good team at scrapping, kind of skirmishing fights out, finding a way to lose from behind. But it was a little too much from TSM last game. We'll see what they do coming into game 2 here. Liquid still goes for the double support ban, feeling that Biofrost does still bring too much to the table in that lane, and mostly with those initiations and continuous fight poke. Nidalee Rise on the other side. Bjergsen does not want to see that in the hands of FeniX. We'll see what they decide to ban for the last ones. Liquid has 7 seconds left.
Yeah, because they're banning out Braum, which is not a typical ban here, they're leaving a lot on the table once again.
Yep.
Zyra, Kindred, Echo, Vladimir, Swain are now still on the table, but nobody really showing an affinity towards them in this matchup. So you can't really leave Kindred up here. It's going to get first picked away by TL. So yeah.
Is it going to be? The Maokai was hovered. And the Maokai is pretty much going to go to that top lane. Bjergsen and Hauntzer kind of seemingly picking things that'll be flex. TSM still trying to keep the unknown involved in champion select, but now into game 2. Team Liquid has first pick, and they're trying to figure out what they would actually want in this game. Maokai's still there for the pick. They're just kind of wondering if they could get anything else that would be better priority. It is not.
Still picking the Maokai early, but with the Echo off the table, it does make it a little bit of a better pick here. But we saw that Hauntzer, he's willing to play some of these aggressive top laners, and if they pick up the Lucian and get the Black Cleaver build, it kind of becomes paper for that Maokai.
That was TL's pickup last time. Maokai, Lucian. Now it's just going to be the Maokai. So Lucian goes over to Team Solomid. Jungler could be Rek'Sai. Dardoch definitely had a good Rek'Sai. It allows him to keep going aggressive, keep being that nuisance. He loves to be up in his opponent's face. I think that might just be the switch here. It'll be interesting to see them go with Gragas. Like we said, there's actually a lot up here. TSM has the choice. There's the Rek'Sai.
Yep, not to be unexpected. Leaving that up is pretty much a death sentence, but Dardoch has shown that he is willing to play things like Graves. Kha'Zix, maybe. Maybe we see the Kha'Zix. It's not completely out of the question, but Vladimir up. No FeniX plays that. Azir up for FeniX, by the way. Did not pick it last game because it was banned away by TSM. Now it's up.
Yeah.
And you have to think TSM left it up because they have counter pick. Is it going to be a Zed into it? Would they pick Fizz into it? So TSM wouldn't leave it up without a plan against it, but they did have to ban these two junglers and Rise.
Dardoch wants something he can kind of make plays on here. He may say, you know what? Let's see more of the team. That was a retype by Dardoch. He typed in that Amumu, but it's going to be back to the Nami. They lock it in with the Viktor. And they're going to hold those two, so Dardoch kind of wants to see more of the spread from TSM before he chooses.
It's a dark age when TL is down one game, Azir is up, and they don't pick it.
That's just
very
true.
early on. Means they're a little bit scared here, and Viktor has a lot of power. Viktor and Azir are the two most played mid laners right now globally, and then Rise, of course. I would say played, but he's banned all the time. So these guys actually see a lot of play. Viktor picked up for FeniX. Would actually be interested to see what Bjergsen takes if he goes with the assassin pick, if he goes with actually answering that with an Azir and his own wave clear. We could see that.
They've kind of taken away the sure initiation this time with Team Solomid. They don't have the Sivir. Now they don't have the Nami for tidal wave, and TSM's figuring out, what do we want? It's probably the Azir for Bjergsen. TSM the one to ban that last game.
Alistar?
And you were saying it's interesting.
Or
it wasn't picked up.
Bard?
Your Bard's still there.
Okay,
We're thinking it could be an option. So Biofrost is actually showing, besides the karma, quite a bit here.
Yeah, they're making him dig deep. They took away 3 support champions from the pool of Biofrost, and he just goes to the next top-tier ranged support because he wants to bully. That's the big priority here for TSM, is to just try and destroy that bottom lane with as many advantages as you can early on.
So Piglet and Dardoch. Usually Piglet as well, getting one of the last picks. Dardoch will have one in jungler for himself as well. Just talked a little bit about how Matt was that kind of one voice left that they brought up from TL. So now Dardoch being subbed back in could mean big things for Liquid here.
Oh.
If they feel confident. Maybe some of the cleanest non-import Lee Sin. Is that what we're getting at?
They imported him from the bench. Just
oh, it is!
It is!
Oh, the cleanest non-import Lee Sin is going to represent here. Self-stated from Dardoch.
I actually don't know, because he's been super clean. He may be able to just say cleanest Lee Sin right now in the NALCS.
That's true. That's true.
Rush is the person who gave him his run for his money, but it's Meteos now on Cloud9, Rush on the bench.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Russian challenger.
Thresh Bard? I'd love it. Let's do it. Supports everywhere.
I would say there's actually a decent amount up here. You could go with a Fizz top and play it into Maokai. Fizz is a very potent top lane champion. You can run many different masteries on him. Actually seeing a low amount of Fizz lately.
Saw a
but
bit
it
of
could
Fiora
be a
recently.
standard.
Swain has been left up. How did the Pain Train actually get through bans without being noticed? We didn't even see him first game.
Yeah, we didn't see him first game. Picked through banned, I believe.
Not even. Whew. Well then, let's see what they have for each other. Hauntzer is going to be on the Swain. Won't make Lourlo's life the easiest. If he's getting ganked, it'll be very, very hard. Rek'Sai for Svenskeren. Dardoch, you're going to pick Lee Sin. You're going to be looking to make plays, and that's what I'm sure the fans and everybody else seeing Dardoch come back was hoping for coming into this second matchup.
Oh, yeah. Looking for those kickbacks, looking for those plays. This bottom lane, though, from TL, Nami, Ezreal, that is a bottom lane that wants to poke you out, it wants to sustain, and it wants to basically get an advantage and compensate for the fact that Ezreal has to get tier early. So the first few backs are actually crucial to the momentum of that bottom wave. So if they actually miss out on a wave, they miss out on 2 waves, if they get chunked out, or if he actually gets to back for free and get that tier, no problem.
I actually thought we'd be seeing more Vlad from FeniX, some of those types of plays to kind of get in and make the high quantity kill plays, and then an Ezreal to back that up.
It just seemed like a team thing. It seems like a scrim block where somebody was like, Vladimir is destroying everybody. Let's not let this happen. And then in series, people are like, oh my god, that guy's playing Vladimir, and I got to first pick it away. So that seems to be what's happening right now. All
right, so remember to keep up with the series on Twitter. As always, update your predictions with the hashtag TSM win or the hashtag TL win. Dardoch subbed in for game 2. We're about to be back on the Rift. Team Solomid looking to go undefeated in their matches here with 2 2-0s if they're able to win this matchup. We'll see what they can do as we're about to be onto the Rift. Liquid now. Blue, TSM on the red side, and we are out of the gates and onto the Rift.
And with Dardoch on the Rift, TL, how do they look? Are they going to be completely revitalized? What plays is he going to be able to make in the early game? My eyes are completely on this rookie of the split from Spring to change this around.
So many things to watch now. We have kind of the rollover featured match in the bot lane. Dardoch's now back in. This is great. Hauntzer getting more player of the game, I should say. We'll see if he has another fantastic performance. And TSM solo lanes, last game to recap, really wreaking havoc. DoubleLift and Biofrost fell behind a little bit.
Oh my god.
But it was really never anything Liquid could capitalize on. Now into game 2. Everything start off. Looks like we're going to get our 2v2 though.
You stay in there long enough, you dodge enough skill shots, they have to put down the ward. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's that or you face check it, assuming that they backed, and then you die. Oh.
That happened the first few times in the first few days. Heading back to lane, teams are trying to get either that little bit of experience, obviously to hit 2, or find that bit of damage by hiding in the tri-brush we've seen. I mean, I guess you can do all those little things with the best of 3. Be like, let's kind of test the waters here. Yeah. Let's test the waters here, see how they react. Really learn a lot in the beginning of the season here.
So what I'm really loving about this whole patch in general is just the number of lane swaps that we're seeing, even in NA, has gone down. A lot of people are testing their metal in 2-on-2s. They're saying we have these range supports, so we aren't picking people into bad matches. Being like, oh, well, I have Trundle versus Bard. I'm going to go lane swap, right? We're not seeing that. We're seeing, okay, well, I think my champion's better than yours. Our 2-on-2, we can survive it. We don't want to swap on that top lane because Swain might be able to get some CS and be fine. Yep. So I'm loving that people are testing their metal. Also, the whole jungle experience thing, so top laners don't get level 2.
Yeah. As well as the AD carries and whatnot, not grabbing as much, and they fight for that level 2 even more to get to lane. We saw it equal out there. Pretty good laser, but soldier attack right back at him. Looks Looks like Bjergsen and FeniX, obviously knowing that matchup very well, will probably just trade a bit of health and then continue to farm the next few waves. Dardoch, no unusual path for him. There is a ping towards the mid lane, saying that Bjergsen's wave is pushed up and this may be an opportunity after your Raptors.
Yeah, there was a camp that was started level 1 by TSM.
And then Krug's over by Liquid.
Yep, Krugs. So Dardoch actually went from Romp all the way over to Red to do that, just to pick up that buff, and walk all the way back to go do his Raptors now, and then his Wolves. So his route, a little all over the place because you don't need...
So he did switch it up, yeah.
So basically what you need to do, what he's doing is, I need to give my bottom lane Krugs, because if the enemy does Gromp, our bottom lane's at a disadvantage in terms of experience, and they'll just get destroyed. But I can't start blue buff. I'd rather have red. So that's his thought process behind it. Comes back up, loops back up, maybe ganks top, and that's his route. Completely planned.
Is he a super nice guy and he gives this over to FeniX?
No, because Lucian
no,
still makes use of it with energy.
Oh, of course. Especially Dardoch wanted to come in and make the plays. He'll take the experience as well.
Yeah, some people go and actually take the normal route, like this, where they go Gromp blue, and then they get red so that they have red longer for their gank time.
Right.
He's been ticking the red away right now, and it hasn't been useful at all.
Looking for a bit of a stronger clear. Will seem to float up top here. Gonna trigger a ward if he decides to go around. Scuttle control will be the idea for Dardoch, and the bot lane still going at it.
Dardoch on the move. Is it gonna be Bjergsen? Is it gonna be... Oh. Looks like he's chosen.
He's taking the long way around. Very nicely done.
Why not gank for the Maokai?
It was a question in lane. We thought it was going to be the gank for the Swain in the end. He's going to connect with the Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike goes in. Never move. Just on the outside of catching Dardoch, and Hauntzer out of mana on that one. Is forced to flash away.
Yep, still forces the flash early. Lourlo has to use his, though, to close that distance. It's Svenskeren.
He's got it. All right, yeah, I actually didn't know as well. I was like, wait a minute, actually.
He was saying the same thing as you.
He didn't get as much health back when he burrows, I thought.
Yeah, it takes her a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot when you have that 100, but it ticks down, so it's very, very incremental.
So Hauntzer still has TP, so he's not too bad off in the top lane. Svenskeren will come back out nice and healthy. Swiftness boots for him right off the bat for his Rek'Sai. Yeah,
and that's a completely just different style than what you see Dardoch going for the long swords, wants the damage, wants to be able to kill somebody, and then snowball from there. And he always goes things like cooldown reduction boots, so he could make plays more often, have the lower cooldown on flash. So I expect to see those fairly early on.
It's one of those things in the early part of the game where you're like, yeah, cooldown's all right, and then somebody just says it, and they're like, cooldown actually means more spells, which means more damage, and you're like, oh my god.
They're damage boots!
The things you learn in your first few months.
That pink ward.
Oh, he got bopped by Svenskeren real quick there by Prey Seeker. So he's going to be out. Svenskeren setting up tunnels all over the place on that bottom side.
Yeah, and you expect there to be a lot of action in this bottom side because there isn't double TP. There's only one TP, both the top laners, and it's an Infernal Drake. So whoever gets to win the bottom lane and you win that fight healthy enough, you just take this dragon. That's going to boost your combat stats. You're basically taking kills, and then those kills are like, here's some extra gold.
Yeah.
You got 300 for that? Here's some more.
This is for you. Oh. Looks like it was more farm. FeniX actually queued a minion there. He used a Q, but used the auto attack on a minion. Didn't get the extra damage out. Really just looking to push Bjergsen off mid lane. He doesn't have the mana to do too much more.
Svenskeren off on the side, looking for it. Bjergsen does have the mana to make a play.
Ghost Flash. This is going to be tricky if they can actually get it. There's the flash. Oh, no! Oh, it's going to be tricky to run. The pathing may just be the death of FeniX. And he can't decide where to go. He hits the carpool lane. It may be quick enough. There's a swipe. There's a swipe.
The heal.
Yep. Summoner heal on Bjergsen was just used. Good eye. He kept him in range.
Oh, man. A lot used there to actually get up to him, but it's 2 summoner spells for 2 summoner spells. And the kill, and that's an advantage for Bjergsen. They were able to actually force FeniX from pretty much 1/4 of the lane down, right into Svenskeren's hands.
FeniX thought he would just be over the wall a little bit more there.
Yeah, he should know the potential of FeniX. Oh, Azir more than anybody. I said FeniX is so used to it. Doesn't get the knockup though, so.
And he's forced back. Great tunnel by Svenskeren.
Maybe could have actually got earlier, but yeah, ends up picking him up there. So Svenskeren had moved. I don't think he expected the wall to actually be that good because he moved forward and he obviously didn't attack move. Because if you attack move as Rek'Sai, as soon as you are able to knock the person up, you will. Which is a lot of fun when somebody plays Katarina and you attack move on them. They shumpo you and you knock up even before you realize that you've done it. It's like, oh my god!
Thanks, Riot, for that.
A lot of people, a lot of Katarinas have been like, how? What? How are you that fast? It's like, magic.
That's what you tell them. You know. OG Rek'Sai. 12.5 to 11.2 now. TSM still have a bit of momentum from game one. Things happening a bit slower in this game for the side of Liquid. Dardoch trying to get into the jungle, not finding too much in his excursions. Got the flash out of Hauntzer top, but haven't actually been able to go back and punish that again. 5 minutes passed, it's back up.
Yeah. Actually, looks like Dardoch didn't go for the cooldown reduction boots either. That was always his style. Gragas, Lee Sin, cooldown reduction boots for flash, for his body slam flash, for his flash kickback. But Swifties apparently are king right now. He needs to get around the map. He needs to try to make plays and keep up with Svenskeren. Especially since Svenskeren is just all about farming the enemy jungle and getting them incrementally behind. Yeah, he didn't make anything happen in that top lane. He's coming back up now, but it's too late. It's too late. You missed your 5-minute window.
55 to 58. Lourlo actually faring a little bit better.
So Dardoch showed top. Bjergsen shoves mid, goes immediately towards the bottom lane. 4 people in the bottom lane. Svenskeren coming up. They're going to have to TP into this if they want any chance. But so is Hauntzer. It's going to be a 3-on-5.
TP from the back. TP on the turret as well. He's going to come through. Lourlo throws down the Maelstrom. Whoa! Team Liquid is melting, but on the other side, the turret was hitting, and so was TSM.
Oh, Bjergsen!
Liquid able to put a few more hits back onto TSM. Bjergsen very low here, and this could be FeniX catching up. His Ghost is back up, and they're able to capitalize on that kill. Very nicely done. 3-3 as it goes back and forth and kills 3-2.
Biofrost hit the turret and both members of the bottom lane of TL. It bought enough time for FeniX to start getting down there. And also Dardoch, who had those Swifties, able to show up at the tail end of the fight. And really well played there by Lourlo. Lourlo went on the person who had turret aggro, roots them, ends up doing enough damage to Biofrost as well, so he gets picked up by the turret at the end. That right there buys enough time. Gets the knockup, but then tries to reposition, and look at this, Lourlo onto DoubleLift, takes him out, flashes, follows up, gets the double kill, so they trade 2 for 2 there, and then Dardoch got the kickback, got the ultimate out of Bjergsen, puts the W on the ward that's already been there to get himself just a little bit closer, because he doesn't have his smite yet, he doesn't have extra wards in his inventory.
Nicely done by Piglet as well to get the ultimate off just before he went down. That true shot barrage really helped that fight turn around for Team Liquid.
Yeah, 3 for 2 in favor of Liquid, but this gold advantage is still in favor of TSM. Ooh. And Dardoch coming up though. Lourlo trying to get in position for it.
I'm saying have a present. He's taking the turret really before they had the lockdown, which means he's going to be taking a lot more before they kill Hauntzer at this point. They decide to back off, rightly so. And they know it's kind of taking a little too long. There's probably some extra bodies here. And Svenskeren is just on the wing.
Look at just the way that Dardoch moves in the jungle, or moves when he's ganking. But hold on. Oh, that's a lot of damage, but oh, true shot!
He walked into it. It's like, oh, bubbles.
Oh, bubbles.
All right.
Ooh, sometimes you can't resist bubbles.
You were saying, though,
yeah,
the way
anyway.
Dardoch moves.
Well, the way Dardoch moves around the jungle, you can see he has full confidence in his ganks. And speaking of confidence,
there it is. FeniX with the flash this time. Remember, he just used Ghost in the bot lane. Dardoch
he hit
with the kick. Going on to Bjergsen, locks that one down. Not sure if he actually hit the Q or that was a mini, but he still finalizes the kill. It's trying to be the Praise Seeker, but it's the flash entry from Svenskeren as he gives himself a way in. And Dardoch can't choose to fight that. Neither of them would really go down here unless he hits a nice Q. Fakes him out.
It's the ceremonial, I'm the mid laner now as a jungler. You actually celebrate every time this happens. Your mid laner dies, both mid laners die, You don't actually go, oh man, that sucks. Like, yes.
And this is when a million pings hit mid lane to say, don't farm that.
But
let's see this
FeniX.
again.
Look at that. He actually completes the cast of the Emperor's Divide before he's even in contact with FeniX because it emanates from behind you. And that kick hits Bjergsen. Svenskeren gets a little bit on the other side. And that actually did a lot of damage to Bjergsen because it actually uses the HP of the person you kicked as bonus damage. So Svenskeren with the Bomby Cinder and the Sightstone ended up hurting his team a little bit more.
Setting his teammate on fire. That's not very nice. 13 on the clock. Quite a bit of action here from both teams regarding this first game.
Yeah.
About 20,000 gold, only a 500 lead for TSM, so much more stable here in the early game for Team Liquid. They're able to keep these lanes pushed up and a bit of an advantage in the bot lane. I'd say it's even with CS assists and a few kills to either side.
Yeah, a lot of summoner spells down though, so junglers, this is the time to make your move. DoubleLift is the only person on the map who has flash at this moment. So go anywhere but DoubleLift's lane. But you could go to DoubleLift's lane and try to force it down because the turret's all the way pushed up. Yeah, here he comes. Dardoch straight to the bot lane. Just going to try to muscle down this turret. I don't expect there to be a fancy play just yet.
Tempered Fate is there, but you're right. I don't see Svenskeren being close enough for them to actually want to stall this out.
He wants to be, though.
It actually may work out. Svenskeren is trailing down. So is Bjergsen at this point. That one wave clear here by the culling definitely gave them room to do so. So they do decide to hold that off. Infernal Dragon is on the docket right now, but so is that bottom turret. I'm pretty sure they'd love to take that down. They haven't really broken any structures on either side of the map here in 15 minutes in. 14.
Yeah. So
want to be critical.
You round it up, you know?
Heavily.
It's the right answer without going over.
There you go.
But it's going to be Biofrost zoning out. And yeah, this area has been completely warded up by TSM. So they're going to have priority onto this Drake. And TP from Lourlo could come through. There it is.
He's
right into everybody.
He was forced to go in once he realized he made a bit of an error with the distance between himself and his team. They weren't able to close the gap, but they may still go in for damage. The resulting fight, if not too many ultimates are used, could mean Dragon, but that is Chaos Storm. That is the tidal wave down, and there goes Bjergsen. Double Sonya's looking good, gentlemen. The bubble hits two. Coming in from Matt. It's not enough to turn it around, though. Hauntzer had already made it past that point, and Birdman is just crushing down. He is using the Swain to a nice effect right now. Just on the side of the bubble, Matt gets hit, but the never move connects before he goes down. Torment not enough to kill Matt. He lives as well with a bit of ebb and flow between himself and a teammate. And overall, quite a bloody fight, but only a few fall.
Yeah, it's only 2 for 2. It goes completely even there. No, oh, wait, speaking of even, not going to happen.
Out of energy. That would have been a lot of auto
even.
attacks. Beatrice giving the help there. A little bit of slow. It looks like everybody's kind of backed off for now. Dardoch looking for some window shoppers.
Ulti?
Piglet, Eagle Eyes. Not going to be enough.
Ooh.
He is pretty big. Hauntzer has gotten himself.
These are still pretty dangerous places to back. I know he has
quite
wards
large.
there.
They're pushing themselves to the limits in these fights.
Yeah, Drake
much more confidence from Team Liquid here.
I expect TL to actually go for this Drake.
Let's see how this goes overall. So you can see
this. Dardoch walked up, walked back. Dardoch goes for the ward instead of going towards Lourlo's position where he's TPing in. So, little missed out there, and you can see the TP actually was canceled by Hauntzer. So Hauntzer has to walk all the way here. FeniX gets Shreema shuffled on, but he doesn't go over the wall. The Bard saves him by hitting him at the right time. So Biofrost has actually made 2 plays by TSM kind of moot.
Yeah.
Because he ultied the bottom turret, he just ultied FeniX, and it ended up not helping. It ended up allowing TL to buy time, to put themselves in a position to time the bubble, to allow themselves to be even in kills at this point. Otherwise, TSM would be up about 2 or 3.
Countering the counter plays. Whole new world. 6-6 in the end of all that back and forth. It was just 4-4 when I was saying a much more bloody game, and then they all went down bot and fought. So you can see only a few minutes later, right back at it. Infernal Drake grabbed up now by Liquid. Much more control on the map. Like I said, much more sturdy in their strategy as well, figuring out what TSM is doing and adapting much faster to Towards even the mid game, we saw Liquid kind of trailing on TSM, going to a side lane. They'd be right on their heels and a few steps behind. Here, a much different story. TSM able to drop now bottom turret, as it looks like Liquid is going to trade this for top. The majority of their members head that way. FeniX being called back to mid, though.
Called back to mid, red buff up, so Dardoch gonna head over there. But yeah, they weren't able to shove out Hauntzer. Hauntzer just throws down Beatrice, uses his ultimate and clears the wave. So he can stand here and make sure it doesn't actually make contact with his turret. And that ends up giving the first turret of the game over to TSM. They didn't see them come over here. Not warded at all on the way there.
Oh, Ghostin flashes up. He thought he could just make it out. He actually flashes the Cosmic Binding he thought would hit the turret, but it was just out of range. A 1-for-1 on the Retribution kill going over to Biofrost for FeniX, and it looks like that disperses the fight right away. They get his summoners down right away. They're making sure that he can't move in these fights. They have a choice.
And they're doing everything that they can. Bjergsen is sliding in every time for FeniX, making sure that he picks him up. And Svenskeren, little far forward, and heads him off at the pass.
He's not taking a huge amount of damage. There we go. Once they start to pile on, Hauntzer coming in a little late there, but with the addition of Bjergsen, I think they're going to have enough on this one. It's going to be Biofrost in the base, so they can't actually go too far. They don't really have a full team. Just able to create so much pressure, kind of pushing Team Liquid around. They're still on the side to defend, however, and they're staving off a few kills that should actually be happening. So very nice for Team Liquid to keep those from going down and keeping themselves up to protect these turrets.
Yeah, and Svenskeren, he went in, even though Bjergsen didn't have mid priority anymore. He was continued to just be shoved out towards him. So Bjergsen was going to get there late. And then the way that Dardoch actually went around the pit cut off the retreat of Svenskeren, because Svenskeren wanted to get the red buff, sneak it, and then go over the wall of the dragon pit. But Dardoch was there, so he had to go up, and then Dardoch just ward hopped and cut him off. So really no options there after he had actually gone in and had been spotted by a ward. So too aggressive from Svenskeren. That's the second time in I guess 4 games now that exact spot has killed him. That exact play.
I mean, what was it? Watching another one in TSM's game, they had actually, Svenskeren was going bot, Bjergsen was doing Raptors.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That's the other time.
Yeah. Becomes difficult.
Yeah. Well, you had to constantly communicate. I know that when you're actually in the flow and you've done it like 4 times that game, you don't say it the next time. You're just like, yeah, I mean, he should know that I'm going to go to the red because we've seen it up every time, and we've done the same thing. And he doesn't do that because conditions are a little different. Maybe he's getting shoved in, and it's not communicated, and then you still try to make the play happen, and it doesn't work out.
Minute and 30 on Dragon. Going to start setting up some wards here. Also, be sure to not use those summoners. FeniX trying to get his back up so he can be kind of more useful in these fights, able to run around the Emperor's Divide, run around where Hauntzer is going to put Never Move. There's a lot of things you actually have to dodge playing right now on the side of Team Liquid.
Going to walk right into Lourlo. Are they going to have the damage to take this out, though?
It's going to take a while. Dardoch does hit. Does he choose to go in on Hauntzer? He does. FeniX gets blown up in the brush. The ward was there for TSM. The vision was not as they entered into that mid lane river fight. And now the hit on the other side, a Never Move to lock down the team and start to clean up the fight. Team Solomid coming through very big there and starting to separate what would be their gold lead now. Now 3,000 gold up and even more with this next turret.
And Biofrost with the over-the-shoulder Cosmic Binding, ending up hitting both members of the bottom lane of TL. Allows them to clean up at the end of that fight. That was really aggressive from TL. FeniX, his position, didn't have vision on the right side of that wall near mid, so he ended up just going too far forward and walking into 2 members that could just obliterate him. A ping onto the Baron from both teams, actually.
See how this goes once more.
Here comes...
There's a question onto Lourlo. It's like, you kind of need to fight Lourlo, you fight the closest target, right?
Yeah.
FeniX was in, Tempered Fate, lockdown.
Walks up and then ends up getting destroyed, and that binding right there allows them to pick up 2 more kills.
Beautiful binding and Never Move. Yep. FeniX is almost kind of giving himself not more credit, but he's feeling more assured that he has Ghost, that he has Flash, that he can fly in and fly out. But he's actually been caught by Tempered Fate quite a few times with that.
He's 2-5. He is 5 of his team's 9 deaths. And so he has just been picked on this game.
Yeah, that's true.
They have assigned him as basically the walking bag of gold that they are going to keep punching over and over again. And he has to play scared.
At this point, usually you do. We see back in the day, or not back in the day, it still happens, but mid laners take that Ghost, they take that, you see it on the Twisted Fate, so they can wiggle around, get a new card out, get back into the fight, and then continue to be safe. But really, when you have that much aggression, when Bjergsen is actually able to get onto you that fast with Emperor's Divide, it hasn't been FeniX's day, so to say.
Sven dropped something. I'm not sure what it is, but they're going to have to go figure it out. Not completely filled in just yet, but
put some tape on it.
Being actually very courteous, not letting his microphone cord, headset cord.
He's a very courteous guy.
Hang on the people trying to help him.
I mean, junglers are courteous, right?
That's true. That's true. But we always get blamed. We always get blamed.
That's all right.
It's always our fault.
See, he's trying to change that. He's a trendsetter. They're also feeling quite...
Oh, he's being courteous because it's his fault.
That's true. That's true. Sorry, I stole your blue. I'll come back and do something. So we'll have this fixed up very shortly. Much help from Donald. Thank you so much. Oh, we'll find out at some point. TSM smiles on their face here as they've waiting in this pause. Thumbs up from the refs and thumbs up from Svenskeren as he's saying, yeah, we're thumbs up right now. We just had a great fight. We're 23 minutes in. Just grabbed a dragon for themselves as well. Up.
They're really, really starting to balloon right now. But it's all this picking on that mid lane. They're picking on it over and over again because they know that Hauntzer against Lourlo, well, the Swain Maokai matchup, he's naturally almost 40 CS up. And then the bottom lane, well, it's Poke. I don't know how I'm going to really get in on that too often. But this mid lane, Viktor, he has to rely on his summoner spells for mobility. And so they're picking on him every time. And Bjergsen's just engaging, sometimes sacrificing himself. And that's why he has 3 deaths. But also, FeniX has been mispositioning in a lot of these fights.
Yep. TSM's really building together on these fights. You look how the kills have happened. 1, 3, and 8. So that 1 and 8, as Bjergsen has been involved in everything that's happened on the map right now for Team Solomid. Look at as well Svenskeren. He has 8 of those plays to his name. So all of TSM kind of sharing in that wealth across the board. A little bit more than Liquid, even though they've all gotten their hands dirty this game. It's just been much more team effort in the instance it's happening and working out for TSM. Liquid now to the top lane. Looks like that turret is going to be the one that they want. Mid lane still up. Very hard to push in Bjergsen.
They're fighting over and over again bot side because they don't want TP to come through. And
flash for flash. Dardoch couldn't get the kickoff in time, but they may have Svenskeren. A Tempered Fate on 3 members from Biofrost shuts down the initiation from Liquid and now puts them down in the ground. Lourlo will be the next one. Biofrost trying to get on the other side of the minions to make sure you can make a wall stun or whatever stun is necessary to continue spoon-feeding his team some kills.
Biofrost is a god. That was a hard cue to stun Dardoch, then turns it around, throws down the Tempered Fate, and gets 3 members of TL for the reposition, and then they pick up the member that was not
even over yet.
And that's the ace there. That's the clean ace for TSM as they pick up the Baron off of just these plays that are being made. Everybody's being incredibly aggressive, and they're all on the same page here. Watch this. This is so good.
Word.
He goes in, DoubleLift flashes because he sees this coming. He knows it's going to happen. Bard stun, Tempered Fate on 3 members, and then they all gang up on Dardoch. They come through. Bleedy misses the follow-up there. He actually does get the stun onto Matt, I think, and then allows them to continue this chase. Just utilized every ability in Bard's kit pretty much flawlessly.
We wondered, right? We'll push him on to another support.
Yeah,
we'll push him. We'll take his Nami away this game and push him on to another support. Really showing up well. TSM, rightfully so. Very happy about that pickup. And Hauntzer, the connecting, resonating strike. A few more kicks to cripple. And the next one to slow him down. Very nicely done. They take him. TSM now moving into the base. Liquid's been trying to make something work off the ball here, but they forgot about the goal. They forgot about the prize, and that's to protect your base. so you can get to your enemies. Inhibitor goes down, and with Bjergsen and team able to quickly come up and do this once more, they'll be able to drop them fast.
Yeah, that was actually really interesting because they walk up to the turret. Lourlo was chunked out, and Lourlo was by the inhibitor backing. At that point, it's faster to just walk. Walk back, and then just walk in with home guard. But expecting the rotation to the bot side.
If you could teleport, Aiden?
Well, no, you're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly.
Even if it was like here to literally down the hall,
Your desk.
I would probably teleport.
Boom.
But if I only do it once a day or once every, few hours.
All right, I see what you're saying now.
But of course, you can actually back at any time. That's right. So
26,
got me there.
2,600 on the current Baron counter. Very nicely done by Team Solomid to control the lead. Once they were able to start to balloon that just before we saw Svenskeren put down a little pause to get himself quickly fixed up. And now a minute 50 left on to the next dragon, but it doesn't look like TSM really has eyes on that yet. The vision's already there. Eyes on the prize of the turret is next. And Piglet has just used a bit of the wave clear that might be necessary for this next turret. And the Iceborne Gauntlet really isn't even slowing and deterring Svenskeren either. TSM taking what they know they can take right now, and Liquid's kind of going to have to let that happen until they get to the base gates.
Yep, and this Baron's still on for a good while. Last 3 minutes and 30 seconds now. So normally it would be up in 15, but it is up for 45 more. I did the math.
Ooh.
Did all the math there.
Great work.
But yeah, it's going to be the 4-1 with Svenskeren pushing down mid lane because that has an open inhibitor. No turret there. And TSM, despite Dardoch being subbed in off the bench, being 2-1-4, having a great game, it's still not enough right now.
Yeah.
TSM looks so clean in the way that they're executing these fights. The early game may have been a little bit more rough for them, but they played appropriately around the pressure that Dardoch wanted to exert.
Definitely giving that respect. Understanding Dardoch back in the game, they couldn't kind of flaunt around and just run through Fog of War if they wanted to go for a gank. Much more concise in what they did. Lourlo gets pushed back. DoubleLift very low, gets the heal, gets taken out by Matt's ebb and flow. Lourlo trying to mitigate damage on the back line here, really protecting the team well with that Vengeful Maelstrom, and it's going to be a magical journey to safety as TSM kind of hit a brick wall on that entry, losing DoubleLift very early. Good focus by the back line of Team Liquid.
They end up getting the pick onto DoubleLift. They get him to stand in one position, which allows the Viktor ultimate, which does more damage now because it was actually the bubble that hit him.
Right.
Does more damage in the pulses, but there's more time between the pulses, so they have to stand in one place for a very long time. See, Dardoch's gonna try this. Goes in, not clean enough.
Flashes out. He'll be all right. Gets his life.
Yep, that was just a Lee Sin play, not a clean Lee Sin play. Went in. Bjergsen's the one who ends up getting it. No smite actually used from Svenskeren, so you can see that that was a desperate play there. Well played by Matt. Gets the bubble. Yep. They pick up DoubleLift. Lourlo had tried to engage, and then the peel away, the never move, and then they're able to get away with Magical Journey. So TSM, minimal losses there, and something that could have gone very bad for them.
Currently looking to join Envy at the top of the list here.
Yeah.
2-0 on their matches for the first week of the LCS.
They'd actually be a little bit above. Because you,
no loss, right? One loss
yeah.
for that record.
It goes by head-to-head, and then it goes by that record.
Yep.
So
once we see that in the end.
Yeah.
But still quite impressive. Definitely a team that will help to build the league players. And it looked like they could be a very, very promising middle of the pack top team.
Yeah,
depending on what happens once they fight CLGs, TSMs.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that.
That's true. Exactly. I was about to say, Jury is still out on Team Envy.
Right.
Because of the strength of schedule of their opponents. But TL, we're getting a little bit better idea where they stand. And TSM, though, well, we need to see them play Immortals. We need to see what they can do there because that's going to be super hype. Right now, they've looked completely in control of both series that they've played, not from start to finish, but when they get a lead, they are able to actually just grab that lead, take hold of it, and not let go. So that's what I really love about TSM is they don't let the game happen, they make the game happen.
Much less of this could go to 45 minutes. Bjergsen's on Rise, Bjergsen's on Azir. He'll kill 3 people in this fight, and then we'll take the next 4 turrets and have a big lead. Much more fluent throughout the game, as you were saying, of how TSM is getting these advantages and holding them. We see pretty much all the first 3 core items at this point built up into the game. 37 seconds on Baron could be the finishing touches TSM needs to get in, or at least the fight that Liquid would have to go for broke on and attempt to stop TSM, because it's either at that Baron or at the rest of their base.
Yeah, so it's time to take stock before that might happen, where you can see the build from DoubleLift, the 3-item power spike, looking for that Bloodthirster combine. He does have the gold to do it. Just needs to back before then, but he's not going to get the luxury to do so at the moment. Guardian Angel for Sven. It's going to be a gigantic nuisance because he's already hard to kill and he soaks so much of your damage. It's sometimes not even worth going on him. They don't have the armor penetration just yet to deal with him.
It's been very tough to have
on to FeniX again.
All summoners up again for FeniX. He gets Tempered Fate over and over by Biofrost's aim. Biofrost flash forward as well as Ignite to securing all of these kills with the team. And Ultimate's still up for TSM here.
That might be
very promising as they head in. 40+ seconds on these death timers now, and the soldiers keeping Piglet at bay, keeping Dardoch running away here to keep himself alive. And that's the first Nexus turret going down. Svenskeren being a nuisance on the outside to keep Team Liquid members at bay.
Oh!
And even though it's not Bay Life anymore, they're still going strong. They're still going with smiles on their faces, and they're going on to the Nexus. TSM will be 2-0 in the first week of the NALCS Summer Split.
And it's not only just a 2-0, they haven't dropped a game yet.
That's true.
Riv.
4 straight games.
4 straight games. TSM last split start off incredibly rocky. Everybody's like, is this the right pickup? Is this the right move to bring all these new players in who haven't played with each other ever? Well, they brought in 1 new guy this split. They've had the time. They had the spring split to synergize.
Yep.
They had the time off from when MSI was happening, and they look fantastic. This is when you actually, as a player on this team, you go, you know what? Those tryouts, some people may have been like, why are they picking this guy out? Why are they picking up Biofrost when there's all these other free agents who may be imports, right? Well, Biofrost seems to be the fit for the team. Maybe he's not necessarily the greatest in the world or anything like that, but he is a great fit for this team, and you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody else because he played phenomenally well, not just for the team. That was a mechanical display on Bard. That was a fantastic game from him.
Absolutely ridiculous. You see the Bard, the Nami, the Karma.
Yeah, I don't think you throw the Braum ban at him anymore.
The Braum.
I think banning him, almost useless.
Definitely amazing. Somebody that, even if it's a molded position, he has fit into the team almost better than we've seen anybody. When Bjergsen came in, maybe that was another one, right? And you just see the fact that TSM goes for a non-star pick when they go in. It doesn't have to be somebody that has already done so much and has veteran status, and it's the one that works out for him.
NA talent, boys.
That's great. Good plug. Let's send it over now to Dash and the analyst for some conversations on that matchup. Actually, we're going to take...
They're not ready.